Hey everybody, welcome to a mythical book review, and I'm going to be doing some fantasy books from Karina Halle. I may have some spoilers, I'm sorry in advance, but you're gonna have to just read it. I'm sorry, it's so good. If you're a fan of vampires and you want to read these books, I highly suggest it. They are a vampire duet, so these two are together. There are 2 books before and 2 books after that are kind of like in the same universe, so I highly suggest reading those before reading these, just to kind of get a taste and flavor of what you're kind of getting into for this, but you can read these alone as well. The vampire duet is super gorgeous. It is also a little dark. If you like dark, you will love this. I am a huge fan of dark, emotional books that put me in the feels, and this is one of them. Well, actually both of them. They have put me in the feels for quite a bit. So we're going to talk about some vampire lore. I wish I had some like vampire fangs to put in. Sadly, I only have one tooth that is similar to a vampire fang, so we'll have to get the other one patched up, huh? Forewarning, there is a trigger for these books, and I highly suggest reading the triggers if you're somebody that gets a little squeamish about like certain representations and visuals. There's no like pictures in here, except for maybe like towards the front and like logos and stuff like that, but there's no like full-on pictures in here. So this book is very visualizing and has some bloody scenes, some dark scenes, some things that you probably don't want to see in your head, but they live rent-free. After this book I was like, yep, that's living rent-free, but it's super good and I will reread it again. Just giving you a heads up, the triggers are there, I warned you. There's some spoilers I'm gonna say. Also, a lot of things are going to go on in this book, and I prefer to kind of just dive right in deep. I may do a review of the second book on another video, but for now we're just going to do Blood Orange for a second here. This book, Blood Orange, has a lot of spicy things in it, and I mean, it is a lot of spice. Like, oh, I wish I could go back through and just tab all of these, which I may do that, because I want to reread certain parts. I'm definitely going to reread the whole thing again because there's just so much in here, so much jam-packed. It's just like, I read this all in almost a week because it was that good. This story is basically about a vampire named 𝓲𝓬𝓬𝓱 and a girl named 𝓲𝓀𝓲 who is the reincarnation of many lovers of 𝓲𝓬𝓬, but she doesn't quite know that yet. At the beginning she is a witch and she has to kill 𝓲𝓬𝓬 to get a book, so her academy can be quite happy about her. I don't know, some other, like, there's a lot of foreshadowing in the back, but apparently the vampires have this book and 𝓲𝓬𝓬 is supposedly like the main one that has it, and they have to go on a killing spree for him. So 𝓲𝓀𝓲 is kind of sent off into Venice, Italy, and there's a lot of modern day stuff that is brought into this picture, but at the very beginning it does have a flashback, so you're not lost in the sauce as to like what happens, like, wait, we're just now in Venice, Italy? What is going on? So at the beginning, there's a lot of documentation of 𝓲𝓬𝓬 in his journal talking about, okay, listen up diary, here we are again. Finland, Sweden, cool. Alright, awesome. Oh no, the girl I'm seeing is probably not someone I should be seeing, who's also the head honcho of a Russian army. That just sounds fantastic. That's basically the summary of the beginning, and later on there's this whole plot and adventure that goes on into finding this book, and again, tons of spice. Like, you thought you were getting distracted from the plot. Mind you, there's more spice. Plot, spice, plot, spice. Oh, more plot, spice. We love fucking casting spice in here. Alright, I'm gonna go read this in silence. But yeah, there's a lot of it. So it's not just the plot, you're also getting lots of vampire lore in there, and some things kind of don't quite match up, but this is a fantasy world, mind you, so anything goes in the fantasy realm with witches and vampires. There's a lot that goes on. When you're reading, you will definitely be filled in as to what is going on throughout the book. You're not going to feel like you're lost or like feel like jumbled or out of place, like, how did we get to this chapter? How did we get to that chapter? Mind you, a lot of this is 𝓲𝓬𝓬's perception and 𝓲𝓀𝓲's perception, so they both kind of teeter off on each chapter, so you don't have to worry about, okay, whose mindset is this, or whose perception is this? What are we even in? What are we even talking about? What location are we in? She's really good at detail and just like picking out smells and picking out visuals and picking out the location and like just the mindset of everything that goes into this book. Some people may not like it, some people may not like the whole perception switch, but I loved it because it helped me understand, like, okay, this person is talking, that person is talking, and this chapter is all about him or all about her. Now, the spice, oh my god, was so hot. It was so spicy. A couple of scenes that I really liked were there was the blood orange tree scene where there's like a bunch of blood oranges, which kind of go into the whole depiction of like blood orange and like the symbolism. The symbolism is just fantastic. Like 𝓛𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼 is probably my favorite. Oh my god, if someone called me that red dove, I would just melt in your arms and just hold me like a fucking baby, okay? Like just here's a ring, fucking put it. There's a lot of symbolism in the spice and like just how 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼 represents his lover and like definitely is like, this is mine, no one touch her, she is my prized possession, look at her, look at this, look at it, just look at it, she's fucking gorgeous, okay? Like she is mine, leave her alone or I'll bite, you know, like that kind of thing. Like obviously the bite was intended, but there is definitely some like BDSM play where there's like a lot of my lord and master and stuff like that, but mostly my lord is like what Dahlia tends to call 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼 later on in like this whole master grand scheme of things, and he's very much so like, okay, do it, I dare you, I bet, alright, you won't, you know, like there's a lot of like short sentences kind of like integrated towards the dominance part, or like, you may do this, or no exception. At some points they're like that, especially with like a violin bow. Oh my god, oh. That scene is the spark of some things that were growing in me. I'm like, yep, that's definitely gotta be on a bucket list now. Some of the personalities of these characters just drive me up the walls, especially like with Dahlia. Like, I love how her character development is, but I hate it how she lies so much. It is so bad. It is like, girl, you gotta quit lying to him. Like, he's your man. Don't do that, honey, no. And then 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼 is just a straight up like vampire lord, like, oh yeah, everything's fine. I'm a professor at a music school. I also run a backroom blood room thing where like it's kink BDSM the entire time, but no one knows about that on the college campus, so yeah, University of Music, hell yeah. Life is good, just have a shitty dating life, basically, is what his personality is. Honestly, I feel for these characters because 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼 is like the type that he's just going through it, man. Like he just needs to have a stable woman and not get reincarnated over and over and just stay forever. But the second book will tell you a little bit more about that, and I'm definitely going to leave it on pause because I think I went over my time amount. Also, there's a lot in that book, so definitely take a read at it, definitely look into it a bit more, and dive into other Karina Halle's books because they're so freaking good. Like, some people have a little misconception about the second one, but I get it. I understand it and why it may seem rough at first, but there is a little bit more that goes into it, and so with that, thank you so much. Please read Blood Orange. It is so freaking good. I highly suggest it, and if you have read the book, please leave comments below what you thought about the book and what your thoughts and perceptions are on it, and happy vampire booking. So thank you so much. Bye. By the way, if you did like watching this book review on Blood Orange, please subscribe to my channel as I will have more videos like this in the future. Also, I will have more tattoo video talk on here as well. I think the tattoos and book reviews kind of like goes hand in hand together. So if you like those, stick around and I'll be sure to release more.